All right, let's be honest. Have you ever walked away from the driving range feeling, well, like you just wasted an hour and a bucket of balls? Yeah, we've all been there. So today, we're going to fix that. We're going to break down how to make every single swing you take actually count for something.
So let's just jump right in with a big question, and I want you to really think about this. Is your time at the range actually hurting your game? Now, I know that sounds crazy, but for a lot of us, the answer is yeah, probably. You could be digging those bad habits in deeper instead of building good ones.
There's this trap that so many of us fall into at the driving range. And it's a sneaky one because it feels like you're grinding, it feels like you're putting in the work, but in reality, you're just on autopilot, turning your practice into this mindless, totally useless repetition. In fact, this whole mindless thing is so common, the pros actually have a name for it. They call it raking balls. And that is your number one enemy if you want to get better. It's what happens when you've got a giant pile of balls in front of you and, like, zero focus. You pull one over, you hit it. You rake another one over, you hit it. There's no thought, no goal, nothing.
So, the big question is, how do we stop doing that? Well, let's get into it. We're going to break down the 5 biggest practice killers, the things you need to stop doing right now if you actually want to see your scores drop. Okay, killer number 1. This one happens before you even hit a single ball. It's right when you walk up to the counter. And it's buying the biggest bucket. I know. It seems like a great deal, right? An extra 25 balls for just a buck more. But here's the thing. More balls almost always means less focus. It's like you're giving yourself permission to do that mindless raking we just talked about. Your goal should be quality over quantity. Fewer balls, but way more thought behind every single shot. All right, next up, killer number 2. This is one of those comfort habits that's absolutely destroying your ability to adapt on the course.
And it's always hitting from the exact same spot. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You've got your lucky mat, right? You gotta stop that. You need to mix it up. Hit from the top deck, the bottom deck, the far left, the far right. Why? Because every spot gives you a different look, a different perspective, which is exactly what happens on a real golf course. Okay, on to number 3. This one is a huge mental mistake, and it can secretly sabotage your entire swing. It's obsessing over distance. Look, trying to figure out your exact yardages with those beat-up, scuffed, limited flight range balls, it's a complete recipe for disaster. Seriously, some of these balls aren't even round. And this is so important because it starts a really vicious cycle, right? You hit your 8-iron, it comes up short. So what do? You think, I gotta swing harder. So you start changing your swing, trying to force it, and pretty soon you spent an hour grooving a terrible, flawed swing, all because you were chasing a number on a ball that was never going to give it to you anyway. Just stop worrying about distance at the range. It's irrelevant. Practice killer number 4. This one guarantees your session will be a total waste of time. And it's just showing up with zero plan. You know the routine. You hit a few wedges, then an 8-iron, maybe a 5-iron, get bored, and then you just bomb the last 20 balls with your driver. That's not a plan. It's the absolute worst way to practice. And that brings us to our 5th and final practice killer. This one's kind of related to having no plan, but it's more about your technique. It's not having a single specific swing drill. Just showing up to work on your swing it's useless. It's way too vague. You need one specific thing to focus on, a single drill, a single thought. Otherwise, you're just hitting balls. You're not actually improving anything. Okay, so we've torn down all the bad habits. Now, let's build something new, a real foundation for practice that actually works. And we're going to start with what I think is the single most important drill for pretty much every golfer out there. And this is it, the start line drill. It's so simple, but it is an absolute game saver. You just pick a really short target, maybe 40 or 50 yards out, grab a mid-iron, like an 8-iron, and put down an alignment stick. Now, here's the key. You focus only on starting the ball on that line. That's it. Forget distance, forget curve. Why? Because with these crappy range balls, you can't control the flight, but you can control where the ball starts. And mastering that changes everything. So now that we have a drill, we need a plan. Remember killer number 4, no plan? This is the fix, the odd/even day practice plan. It's super simple. On odd-numbered days of the month, you hit one set of clubs. On even-numbered days, you hit the other set. This makes sure you're not just defaulting to your favorites. You're systematically working your way through the entire bag, giving every single club the attention it needs. Okay, so now you've got a foundational drill and a solid plan. Now we can get into the good stuff. how to figure out what's wrong with your swing, and how to unlock that power you know is in there. And the way you find the flaw is through a simple process of elimination. Think about it. You start with a tiny little swing, like for that 40-yard start line drill. Is the ball starting straight? Okay, great. Now go to a half swing. Still starting on line? Good. Now you lengthen to a full swing and boom, the problem shows up. Well, guess what? The fault isn't in your takeaway or the first half of your swing. It's in that last piece you just added. It's that simple to pinpoint where things are going wrong. And this leads to one of my favorite swing thoughts ever. Get home before 11. It's like your parents telling you nothing good happens after 11 p.m. It's the same with the golf swing. For most of us, once that backswing gets past the 11 o'clock position, all control is lost. That's where bad things happen. So keep it compact, stay in control, get home before 11. All right, let's wrap this up with a real pro-level move. This is how you use the very last few balls in your bucket to build serious, lasting speed and power with the big stick. It's a speed training drill, and you do this with your last 5 to 8 balls. Grab your driver, and here's the only rule. Do not worry about where the ball goes, at all. Your only goal is to ramp up your effort level with each swing. Go from 85% to 95%, then push it 110, 120%. You have to swing faster than you're comfortable with. You're basically teaching your brain and your body that it's okay to move faster. Over time, that's how you raise your baseline cruising speed. So that's it. The next time you walk up to that ball machine, you have a choice to make. Is this next bucket going to be just hitting balls? Or is it going to be real practice? The choice is yours.